Hey there everyone, welcome to WeOn. I'm your host Scottish Warrior 82 and I'm here to answer the simple question: is Bioshock Infinite worth it or not? So sit down, stick around, and hopefully you'll enjoy this little review of mine. I do apologise, it's taken me a while to do this. Unfortunately I had a bit of a mishap with my bed and unfortunately it broke, so I had to do a bit of clean up here. But I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you haven't seen it yet, I've done a full playthrough of Bioshock Infinite. It's up on my channel. We'll leave an annotation to the full playlist or a link to it in the description. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out already. But yeah, I'm here to review it, and that's about the gist of it. Just try to get myself comfy here. I have to get nice and comfy. But yeah, so let's talk about it. Bioshock Infinite is from Irrational Games, from the creators of the other Bioshock games. Well, the first Bioshock game, the Bioshock 2, I believe, was made by a third-party developer. But yeah, they made the Bioshock franchise, and this is the latest installment in it. And it's been hyped up the ass for ages. In fact, it even says so on the back of the case. It is the winner of over 80 awards from E3 and conventions galore. And before you ask, this is actually the reversible cover. The actual cover is in the inside, but I wanted to reverse it because I like the cool look of the reversible one. And by the way, more developers need to do this. I like reversible covers. But yeah, that's a bit of an itch. But yeah, so yeah, it's from Irrational. It's been hyped up the wazoo. But let's talk about the story. What is the story of Bioshock Infinite? You play as the character Booker DeWitt as he's sent to the magical world of the city in the sky of Columbia to basically locate the girl Elizabeth, or Lady, depending on what you want to be called, and bring her to some mysterious people to wipe away a mysterious debt that we do not know much about. But we assume that it's probably gambling or drug related. It actually turns out I'm not going to spoil what it is, but you'll hopefully find out if you pick up the game. But yeah, that's basically the story without going into too much spoilers. I know I'm going to get a couple of people asking me to want to talk about the ending, but this is a spoiler-free review. I'm going to do a whole video talking about the ending as a whole, in my opinion, and what I perceive it, because the ending is a really good ending. I don't want to spoil what I'm going to say about it, but yeah. Now, why are you after Elizabeth? Well, Elizabeth actually has these mysterious powers in which she can open up tears in reality. And we don't know if these are time travel, these are tears in time, or even tears in dimensions, until very late on in the story. I do apologise. And I really can't go too much into it without going into spoilers, but just to say the story in Bioshock Infinite is phenomenal and is one of the most mature stories I've seen in a long ass time, touching upon very mature themes. Racism, socialism, fascism, some instances even sexism, and a whole other array of stuff that if I was to say it would spoil it. It's really tricky, as it says, but what Bioshock does really well is throughout the story it actually reveals the overall twist of it if you're paying attention to it, but not in like ways that you like blatantly right in front of you, but in subtle ways, like the music you hear. At one point in the game you hear a sound, I'm not going to say you hear a tone, sorry, music, I don't want to say what the song is because it's kind of spoily, that you're like, that awfully sounds like a song that probably shouldn't exist right now, and you're going to go, huh, that's kind of weird. Different pieces of music, oh fuck it, spoiler, the song that you'll hear at one point, you'll probably hear it all, you'll hear songs from the 80s, and then you'll hear a song, at one point you'll hear the girls just want to have fun, played in a carousel, and you're like, wait a second, that shouldn't be here. And you soon find out why that is if you pay attention. And I don't want to go into too much spoilers beyond that, but let's just say that the story and hints throughout are always there. And if you're paying attention to it, you'll definitely see a couple of the twists coming. The gameplay, I'm going to tell you this, is if you've played any of the Bioshock games, that's basically the gameplay. You have guns, pew pew, that very, like, you got your pistol, your shotguns, your machine guns, your repeaters, your carbines, your sniper, your RPGs, your grenade launchers. You've got the guns. That's about it. The most unique gun out of them all is the Heater or Hater. I can't remember how it's pronounced. It's basically a blunderbuss. That's about it. That's the most unique gun in the game. The rest of the guns are just like, yeah, you've seen this stuff before. The Vigors are plasmid, basically. There's no way about it. They are plasmids, but they're different enough to be on their own. From the Vigors that turn out to be the Mother of Crows Vigors, which allows you to summon crows instead of bees. Possession, Devil's Kiss, which is basically a fire grenade. There's a whole array of different Vigors, but in all honesty, they are basically plasmids. And the gameplay isn't that innovative. It's basically the same gameplay from Bioshock 1 and 2. So if you've played both of these games, the gameplay is going to be actually fairly similar. There's not much innovation beyond a few wee things. Beyond two major innovations, in my opinion. The Skyhook, which is one of the best fucking things in this game, which allows you to ride the rails of Columbia. Since it's a city in the sky, they get across via sky rails, and it allows you to ride them and use them in combat and to get to locations. But also you get to use Elizabeth, which is the other unique thing, who can open up tears in reality around you, where there's ammo, vantage points for you to get up to, motorized from different like turrets, health, a whole bunch of stuff that shooting up tears in reality to give you, and you can only open one at a time, so you can't open them all up. Elizabeth will also toss you supplies every now and then, like if you're running low on salt, she'll toss you salts, which is basically Eve from Bioshock, but it's not as much in my opinion. But that's basically if you run low on salt, ammo, health, she'll toss you stuff, but she won't toss you willy-nilly. She'll only toss you maybe once or twice during combat sections, and then you have to wait till the next combat section for her to toss you more. The most common thing she'll toss you is money, which she's just like, here's money. You go, yay, money! But yeah, that's basically like that. I'll talk about Elizabeth in more detail towards the end. But yeah, same gameplay as Bioshock 1 and 2. Bioshock Infinite is virtually the same beyond Skyhook and Elizabeth. What else? I'm going to tell you this right now. Columbia is so fucking gorgeous. It is one of the best looking games I've seen thus far. Like, you thought Bioshock looked amazing. Bioshock Infinite looks absolutely gorgeous. It feels so alive. Like, compared to Bioshock, which you're very confined, you're under fucking war, what do you expect? It's very damp, it's very dreary. It's basically almost a horror game in an instance. Kind of debatable. And you feel terrified in Bioshock, and so it's what's around the next corner. Bioshock Infinite, on the other hand, very early on in the game, in a good chunk of the game, you will feel that this world is open and free, and you'll be able to breathe, so to speak. And it's done well. It's done well. It looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of the better looking games of this year. Let's see. I do apologize, my phone suddenly went. But let's see what else. Fuck. I'm drawing a blank. Fuck. Yeah, that's what I want to say. But Bioshock, one of the most beautiful looking games I've seen this year. What else is there? The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's done really well, using the right amount of music, and also using music that shouldn't be there. I'm not going to say what ones, as I've said, Girls Who Want to Have Fun, a Bee Gees song or two. It's very well done. The music is very well done. Like for Bioshock Infinite, they used that I think, when was Bioshock Infinite set? I think it was in the 60s, I think. I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, the Bioshock music is very good. This one's music is phenomenal and very well done. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Really, I think there's not much else I can talk about. The game's story is very well done. The ending is good, but I'll get into that in a separate video. I don't want to spoil it for people. The graphics, stunning. Soundtrack is very well done. It suits the game very well. Gotta talk a wee bit also about Elizabeth, but I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to talk about? There are some negatives with the game. Elizabeth isn't one of them. There are a couple of negatives here or there. Like, I'm going to say this right now. I would probably, for me personally, normal was good. It was a nice wee challenge. I've started playing 1999 mode, which for fuck's sake, that thing is hard. But yeah, the chat is challenging on normal, but if you want to bump up to hard, that's about all I've got to say. I just really try, because everything's been said about this game. The game is really, really good. There's a lot of good mystery to it, but I'm trying to think of negatives, trying to think of those. As I say, the combat's not that innovative. It's the same combat from Bioshock, so that's about it. Besides the Skyhook and Elizabeth, it's virtually identical. The Vigors are the best part of this game. The guns are... That's about it. Vigors, as I say, the plasmas were the best part of Bioshock, and Bioshock Infinite, the Vigors are the best part of the combat. I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish they'd done a bit more with the Vigors, because even though you're playing through the game, you'll probably stick to two Vigors throughout. For my playthrough, if you'll notice, if you've watched it, I mostly stuck to using Mother of Crows and Devil's Kiss. Those were the two ones you get very early on in the game, and I really saw no incentive to use the other ones. I stuck to those two because those two were kind of the ones I stuck to, and there was no really any reason to use the other ones beyond, like, maybe you wanted to experiment with them, but at the point you get a lot, you don't. I'm going to say this right now. Most of the Vigors you get at the start of the game are good, and they'll go through a good chunk of the game where you won't get any Vigors, and then all of a sudden near the end of the game they start chucking Vigors at you left, right, and fucking centre. Within the space of maybe 2 hours, I think it was, I got like 3 or 4 different Vigors near the end of the game. One that was like a magnet, like I called it the Spartan one, because that's basically this little Spartan on there, but it's basically like a Spartan one, which was like a shield you could generate. You go that literally maybe an hour before the end of the game, if I'm going to be honest. You basically got a tentacle Vigor, which I dubbed the hentai Vigor. If you get, by the way, don't Google it. And yeah, I didn't use that because it just didn't look useful to me for the way I was playing. But you got that, and it just felt like at the end of the game, they were like, oh shit, we didn't give you enough Vigors. Here's more Vigors. Chuck them left, right, and fucking center. Chuck them, chuck them, chuck them, chuck them, chuck them, chuck them. And I don't know if you can get the Vigors before that point, but it just felt like me they were chucking Vigors at your left, right, and center towards the end of the game, where you were mostly used to using, for me, the Mother of Crows and Devil's Kiss. I just thought that there was really no incentive to use Vigors. Unlike like in Bioshock Infinite, there was a bit of an incentive, and sorry, in Bioshock there was a bit of an incentive to use different plasmids for different situations, but the one you mostly used was the shock one, because hey, you're underwater, and guess what happens when you add water and electricity? They all die. Infinite, same thing. Mother of Crows and Devil's Kiss, they were the ones I stuck with, and there really wasn't enough puzzle. There's one puzzle in the entire game that involves a Vigor, if I can do this, and it's basically Shock Jockey, which is basically the electro bolt from Bioshock Infinite, with some variations, being able to place down electric traps. But that's about it. Like if something went out that was powered by Shock Jockey, you just switch to Shock Jockey, zap, and then switch back to whatever other one you were using. I really wish they'd added more tricks or puzzles where you had to use specific Vigors to do it. More Shock Jockey one. Maybe with the fire one, maybe there was a pile of explosives right there, and you weren't able to get past it, but you notice there's a trail of like lighter fuel or something, and you toss your Devil's Kiss, you get behind cover, boom, you unlock it, there's some secret shit there that way. With, I don't know, maybe the tentacle one, you could use it to pull, like there's something just out of reach, it could replace your telekinesis, you use the tentacle one to pull it back. The shield, the Spartan shield as I called it, you just create the shield up like that, and maybe there's a certain enemy that is more suited for you, you just use that and then chuck it, or maybe you have to pile it up and then launch it at something else to break down a barrier or something. I kind of wish they'd done that and added a bit more of it. As I said, I didn't really think about this until after I'd beaten the game, but that's a good thing. I took a couple of days to think about it. I just wish they'd added a couple more stuff to use more Vigors. Some of the Vigors are really interesting, but as I say, I stuck to primarily using Murder of Crows and Devil's Kiss. That's the ones I use. And guns as well, like, you only have a 2-gun slot in Bioshock Infinite, while in Bioshock, literally your guy was a fucking pack. He only had like an 8, he had like his machine gun up here, his shotgun there, his pistol here, his fucking grenade launcher at his side, his fucking rocket launcher up there, his fucking flamethrower up his arse. I don't know why they did that for Bioshock Infinite, where you only were able to use hold 2 weapons at a time, and use only like. Okay, Bioshock, you could only use on console, you could only use 1 plasmid at a time. But I just don't get why they did that, why they went backwards. Like, don't get me wrong, it's probably for the console generation. I played it on the console, so I don't know if they've done it for that reason, but I had no problem in Bioshock 1 switching between the weapons. I don't know why. I guess they just wanted a quick swap. They could have done what they've done with the Vigors. They could have had like a wee quick menu where you could like set two, like if you were carrying your pistol, you had all the guns on you, but if you wanted to use two of them, like the two things down there, you could have the pistol and the shotgun equipped, and the right bumper was your quick switch. But if you wanted to say, I want to switch to my carbine, so you just hold the right bumper and you set the carbine to take the place of the pistol. They could have done that, but they just wanted to have two, because I'm going to be honest with you, the weapons were okay, they done their job. I just wish they didn't go backwards, as it is, but I don't know if they were going for realism, but you're in a fucking city above the sky. I don't think when you're in a city in the sky and you have the power of basically lightning, fire, crows, and everything in the palm of your hand, and you're going with realism. I would just wish they'd done a little bit more with the Vigors, and as it says, with the two weapons, so it kind of bugged me now. It doesn't bug me anymore. It didn't bug me doing my playthrough, but now that I think about it, like going back to Bioshock 1 and then thinking of Bioshock, that's a bit. Now I have to talk about Elizabeth. I'm probably going to spend a good chunk of time talking about her. I do apologise about this, but Elizabeth is basically the best part of this game. The story and Elizabeth are absolutely the best part of the game. Elizabeth especially. I've had a couple of jokes, like Angry Joe during his review basically done the joke where basically he started playing like a Disney princess themes while she showed up, and I get the joke where they're going with, but in my opinion, Elizabeth is one of the most realistically designed characters in a video game I've ever seen. She's so well designed, right down to the flick in her hair, the colour of her eyes. They spent a lot of time, designing Elizabeth to be not perfect, but realistic and believable. And they've done an exceptional job. The voice actress as well, phenomenal fucking job, well done. Give you fucking applause. You deserve that. They just made her so realistic and so bloody, I don't want to say cool, or like, I don't know, there's really no words I can describe her in. She's just an absolute fantastic character, and is probably one of the best characters of the gaming in the past few years, in my opinion. She's absolutely brilliant. She's definitely, in my opinion, she's definitely a contender for character of the year for me. Like, if I get a chance to, I'm going to do a top 10 characters of this year if I get enough chance to play enough games, and she's definitely going to be in the top 5, I guarantee that, because she is just so phenomenally well designed, believable, and just the way that she interacts with the world. Like, when you're not in combat and you're just walking about to your next objective, you stop to maybe pick up some ammo, she won't just stand there going, what we do next. She'll actually walk about. She'll examine the area. She'll leans up against the wall, just like, just relaxing. She'll look at stuff. Oh, it's so well done. She's not just sitting there going, I'm pretty. She actually looks about and all that. It's, like, like when she does toss you stuff, like she'll toss you money out of the blue normally. You can believe that she's actually just looking at it. She's, oh look, there's money here, Booker. There you go. She's definitely one of the best characters in this game, and I absolutely loved her in it so fucking much. I really built a connection with her during the playthrough. Like, as Booker, I was like, I have to make sure she gets out of here. I'm taking her to fucking Paris. And it's just so well done, and I enjoyed that. She's definitely one of the best characters of this year, and definitely, in my opinion, the best character in this game. So well designed, so well done. And I'm going to tell you, my favourite scene in the entire game, I said it in my playthrough, I'm going to say it here, is a scene when you're going to the basically little bar in the shantytown and you stumble across a guitar. You can actually interact with the guitar. Booker plays it, and then Elizabeth starts to sing, and she has really good singing voice, I'm not going to lie. But it's just the movements she does, the way she interacts with the little kid there, giving them an apple. And it's just so expertly done and shot, and well, not shot, like captured, and it's my favourite scene in the entire game. It's absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. So to simply answer the question before I go into a tangent, is Bioshock Infinite worth it or not? In my opinion, it's worth every goddamn penny they're asking for. It's a phenomenal game. Go and pick up. If you can, get the PC version. The PC version is the superior version. If you can't, just get on Xbox or PS3. It is a fantastic game and definitely worth a pickup. and I would definitely say that it is probably a contender for Game of the Year. It's an absolute fantastic game, and I would highly, highly recommend that if you haven't picked it up, go and pick it up right now. It's a really great game, and I hope you enjoy it and have a bit of fun with it. And if you've already played the game and completed it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. But thank you all for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely Bioshock Infinite is worth it. Go pick it up if you haven't already. So as always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and thank you for watching. Ciao for now.